Hey LARPerinos, Avi from Of Science and Swords here once again. As you can see, we are still in the Christmas period, and we've actually got a really big Christmas surprise. So one of the things that we really loved about Global Gear was the fact that they managed to bring some LARP weapons to the market that were just stonkingly cheap. They were fantastic for first-time LARPers, for cosplayers, for the works. The downside of that particular batch of Battle Legends weapons was that they were kind of inconsistent and unreliable. So we are now up to the third generation of Battle Legends weapons. They've literally just arrived today, and we're gonna have a quick squiz at them. Now, you've probably seen most of these designs before if you've been LARPing for a while. They haven't changed the molds of the weapon. They've just been changing the internal structure. The material the core is made from, the formulation of the foam that's being used, all of that jazz. So, according to the guys at Global Gear, these should be significantly better quality. They should last pretty much to the same extent that we now have come to expect from Cali, and they should be significantly more suitable for use at battle games. So, we've got ourselves, you know, a Sting, we've got the old Templar, we've got the old Viking. Yep, all these familiar faces. We've got one of the Lord of the Rings swords. It's Gandalf Sword, right? No, it's, god damn, I am the worst nerd. The point is, it's a Lord of the Rings blade. That's Aragorn's sword. See, I got that one. This one is the Hand and Half Bastard, which is probably the favorite weapon that they produced. And of course, the God Killer from, it'll come to me, Wonder Woman. That's the one. Almost missed it. So, let's just take that straight out of the bag. So, already, you can see that I'm struggling to do that. That's a little bit over, frig, that hurts. That's a little bit over 90 degrees. Which is the sort of bend that you expect out of a blade at full speed once it makes contact. It'd be like boing in slow-mo. You've all seen that before. And yeah, that's no creaking sounds, nothing. That's a good quality core. We're gonna have to deconstruct one of these and have a check of it out. The tip feels like, I'm pretty sure that feels like Kevlar in there. Again, I'm gonna have to cut one open to figure it out. But let's see how it goes on the hit. Yeah. No better, no worse than Cali. Let's do the twist and attempt to tear it test. Wow. Wow, they've really picked up the game. This is good stuff. I'm actually, like, I'm positively surprised. That's really good. And the price difference is not much over what they used to be. They're about 10-15% more than they used to be, but I think that's actually more to do with our dollar going in that direction than it is the actual cost of the weapons. Like, they've maintained a consistent global price and we just suck dollar-wise. All right, let's just grab another random one. Let's, oh man, we're gonna stop filming and I will scream out the name of this sword as it comes to the tip of my tongue. Wow, look at that, that's 180 degrees. Cool. Wonder how it is for, yeah, it doesn't feel so bad being poked in the gut with it. You can, I don't know if you can see, I'm pulling really hard on this. That's, whew. Wow, they're good. Cool.
The other test that we should do is the blade and handle, because that was the other problem, was the blade separating from the handle.
Oh yeah, like twisting it off the handle. That's a very good point, Tom. All right, well, let's grab another rando out of the pile. I mean, like, I know that we did the test using clamps and vices, but this is, look at that. More talk than a Talking Heads album. God, I'm old. I've separated my nail from the bed. It's not an Science and Swords video unless I hurt myself, right? Cool, these are really, well, I'm very happy with these. We will obviously be taking these along to Swordcraft's equipment desk for testing at the next game. Hopefully the Gen 3 passes, and that means we once again will be having a range of quality weapons at an affordable price point. So the other thing to check out, which is something that you may not have seen because it's not part of the old Global Gear lineup, the old Battle Legends lineup, is their range of shields. So this is their Viking shields. The whole thing is purely foam, so you don't have to feel so bad if you accidentally shield bash some. Oh, I stand corrected. Pressing in on there, yeah. So pressing in on that, I can actually feel that there is some sort of core material in there. Again, we're going to have to destructively break one of these down to actually see what it is. But there's, yep, and it's around the rim too. Cool. So the, whoa. the whole shield is foam except for this core material. It's not a particularly dense foam, but it does seem to be fairly sturdy thanks to this sort of, there is a sort of tic-tac-toe board of reinforcement going through it, and then an outer core around it. This seems to be a very solid and sturdy bit of plastic, but it is just adhered directly to more of the same foam that the rest of the shield is. So I have a feeling if you are in a game that allows shield bashing and you're particularly vicious with it, that this will probably separate. Again, as well, if you are holding on to it and it gets hooked by a very well constructed weapon that's got a lot of force behind it, such as a long spear, there is also another chance that would rip. But again, that we'll figure that one out during destructive testing. And do not rely on this to protect your hand under the shield boss, to protect the hand that is underneath it. That's very thin. You can see that. So make sure that if you are going to use one of these as your primary shields, that you have some sort of hand protection for whichever hand is holding this, because like even just add some foam on the inside, just add some foam into there, because that still transfers a lot of force through there. But considering that this thing is dirt freaking cheap as far as shields this size go, because this is what, about a 50 centimeter? I'll have to measure it up again, I've forgotten. But yeah, so let's talk aesthetics. I mean, obviously it is not nearly as beautifully crafted as the homemade shields that we see hitting the field. And even the Epic Armory shields manage to have a much nicer wood grain going on. It's still pretty decent. Like I've seen a lot of stuff out there from Etsy sellers that is not even of this quality, and they're asking 3 times the price. So for a mass manufactured product, I would be pretty happy with that. And being that feels like just regular acrylic paint over the front of it, you could probably very easily repaint this with your own paints. And they don't even need to be a good quality paint like the ones that you would use for redoing Calamasa weapons. You could probably just go and get like some Montmartre brand acrylics and clear gloss coat over the top of it. Well, we're going to take a bunch of these along to a Swordcraft game and get the equipment desk to check over them. Hopefully we will see these and you on the battlefield.